Hello everybody. Today I'd like to recap the post-Set 5 era of Chaos Galaxy as it comes to a close. I'll be looking at how the 105 new cards affected the meta, what decks have come on top, and maybe what will come next. Links to Zach's card game and the Discord are down below. Now, let's get started. Shia saw some much needed improvements to its card pool, with the pivotal card being somewhat surprisingly a fan card. Mushmallow's Zone Metal tapped into a technique of Chaos Galaxy that has never really been utilized: zone manipulation. Zone Metal can become a battle zone at play, and 2 stars is a massive deal. Plus, the card using the zone gains 100 power, which is especially useful for Shia's aggressive nature. It's a fantastic support card. Incidentally, a new card known as Mouth had a strong connection to Zomatel. It plays off of the planet's ability in that for every 3 dead Shias creatures, it can move into 1 battle zone. It means you can set the card up to attack twice, 3 times, or even more, and Zomatel would allow it to also attack for 4 points instead of 3. Along with its balanced 310 stats for 6 stars, this card is fantastic. Only that there's no real easy way of setting up the combo efficiently, but maybe we'll see that change later. Besides those cards, we have another great support card, Scoria Carrier, which draws cards and has a solid stat line. Macrabablab is a cheap 2-point swinger. Firebolt Inari is more generic, but has power to throw killed cards into the deck, meaning that you can cancel on-kill abilities and discard play. Overall, Shias now has much of the tools to be successful in the current times, but still needs an extra push of strong cards that it can apply more pressure and play off of Shias' gimmick. Hopefully we see that in the Planetary Collection. Unfortunately, Barrow did not get the support it needed after it got nerfed with the ban of Cosmic Treasure. Nuntuntun had eyes on it initially, and was essentially a 3-star dev. However, when you compare what 250 power and 320 power can do, deck can hit meta cards like that Nuntuntun can't, making this card obsolete. Avalanche Overlord is a generic card that is good for stopping big boys. It's not fantastic in its stats, but is a good sideboard counter to decks with many strong creatures. Sindel saw support ranging from awful to essential to its current success in the meta. Chainek and Blade Demon are worth talking about as they make a strong combo, but the idea would need to be expanded upon to really make them worth playing. Skelequeen was the brand new card for the Skellies, which have been known to be the best archetype. Well, more like combo around. Skelequeen is another option for Skelegast, and a far better one than Skelepede as it goes for 4 points. So now the Ghast Queen combo is the meta, along with Bombbeak being an incredibly useful support. Finally, we have Darkspark, which has seen a general meta in almost everything, expanding upon the technique known as milling. And the meta has seen lots and lots of milling. But this makes sense, considering it has quality stats and a pool of stars whichever way it is utilized. It has also led to some low rolls in matches. Syndian's support was a bit all over the place, honestly. Drangeling tried to improve on the Drangel's archetype, but that deck is still less than desirable. Spear seemed cool for about 10 seconds. It gets more interesting with the other cards, however. Lidlod would work well if it had the right targets. Senshi would work if it had better stats. Army of Justice is a great combiner, it's just that it doesn't have a good or easy use right now. The big winner from the planet, though, is Beast of the Conjurers, or Dog, for its ability to make 2 zones for a bargain price and provide a 260 stat body. But no matter how good these cards are, Syndian still has no reason for play. Teklar, the baby planet, got amazing support that improved its capabilities more than anyone was expecting. On the more general side, a new all-planet archetype known as the Squazes was introduced in this set, and Teklar got one that kills the attacker upon being killed, making it a strong start to this archetype of on-killed abilities. Some solid support cards such as Top Scanner and Planet Racer made their way into the scene, and to top it all off, Teklar got itself a Chaos Beast that rivals Cerberam of Sindel, and is one of the best beasts ever created. Now, Gaios got some interesting things this set. Trebite and Sporegazer are controlling cards that annoy your opponent to no end. However, the Sporegazer weakens the card you take by half, making it less useful to control, and Trebite fizzles out after a time, and can be used against you now, which I'll talk about in a second. Temagrob had eyes on it, but its uses are limited enough for it not being useful right now. Sapling Squaz is a decent stargating tool, but by far the weakest of the Squazes thus far. The big new card though was Super Flooper, finally giving Gaius a big boy to dish out the damage. Plus, you can free play it by killing one Zone Gaius creature. Any Zone Gaius creature! Yes. This is an anti-meta card. If only it had Of Yore, then it would be perfect for Gaius. Sad. But hey, Gaius Mind Control is a tier 1 deck. Roko was beefed up quite a bit by 2 cards, but also had a few other interesting things. Floating Temps and Kanzeki were Zach's attempt at making a tier 3 deck playable, but to no avail. Kalika is pretty good for General Roka decks, but General Roka is not being played right now. It's the Scardians that are, a looping, massive 440 stat line that can only be killed by raw damage. The loop is an incredible beast to deal with once it gets set up, and there was also a more recent Solamander comboing with the Moons card. This combo may last for a long time in the meta, or get banned, and are some of the best creatures that we have seen in the game thus far. Polysium, just like Barrow, was nerfed, with counter cards to the playstyle and the half banning of Leviathan Crown. So, was the support also bad? Well, Schnoob is the bane of all combiners' existence. Stomposaurus is another understated vanilla. Reef Wanderer is a worse Pointosaurus. Chryso is limited in capability, and Crazy Hands is Crazy Hands. Zamorzed is a good zone gaining card, and is basically the best support for Polysium. So yes, Polysium support was lackluster, but there was a Squaz from this planet. Droplet Squaz is interesting in the fact it has essentially the same use as Thorngabork. Which is better is the debate. Thorngabork argues with a cheaper cost and usefulness for setting up the strong Gla combo. Droplet Squaz argues better stats that can hit more meta cards. The verdict is both of them are playable, just with different situations in mind. No planet cards were all over the place as usual. We had lackluster Galacti support, literally the 90th 4-starred creature, Boss Squaz card that will hopefully be better later down the line. Darkspark Devourer is good if you like milling. You maniac! And the penultimate Chaos Beast, Archean of Omnius. This is a crazy cool card, having max stats and a mini G crash. Unfortunately, it's so slow that it can't do much this format, so it will not be seeing much play for a while. Moving to resource cards, there were ones like Angry Totem and Eye of Evilness that seemed cool, but Eye of fell off once the purpose of Roka decks shifted, and Totem was just a goofy card with too many consequences. There were ones like Bazaar and Coins that had good ideas, but don't have much purpose right now. And there were actually good cards, like Soul Shroom, which has caused many decks to diversify the amount of planets they use to free play a card. Deep Space Lighthouse has seen some cool uses for mind control decks. Galdora's box in particular is useful in its ability to counter people who play off the discard pile and remove potential threats. Attachments had a few interesting features, such as Chayoyo and Cannon Shrine, but the one attachment that stuck was Abomination Tomb. With the ability to cosplay your killed creatures, a third generic powerful attachment has entered the scene. It completes the trinity of attachments, so to speak, being able to take control of your discarded creatures, your opponent's discarded creatures, and zoned creatures. Finally, for activators, we saw some cool Shultz support. We saw Seal of Eternity, which was gonna be like activation activated activator, but people complained and it got nerfed to be more like a discard pile erratic void. We also got the best activator in the game, Point 2. So, what did post-set 5 format lasting from November 6, 2022 to July 31st, 2023 look like? Well, the top planets were Sindel with the Skele combo deck, Gaios Mind Control and Mid-Range, and Roko with Scardians and Solomancer. Pelisium found a way to stay meta with new Crozon strategies and still generally strong creatures. Barrow fell off. Shultz and Tekla are one or two strong cards away from being meta. And Sidian... Thanks for watching. This format has been a blast and has proven Chaos Galaxy can make a diverse, balanced, skillful, and fun meta. We will see what the 5 new fan cards bring to the table, as well as the planetary collections later this year. Keep looking out for more videos, and remember that happiness is a warm puppy.